and truth lead us to the path of dharma, the path of righteousness. I request honorable dignitaries to kindly proceed to light the divine lamp of knowledge.
ज्योति परब्रह्मा दीप सर्वोत्तमोपः दीपेन साध्यते सर्वम् संध्या दीपनमोस्तुते।
A lamp removes ignorance, suffering, and unhappiness. A lamp spreads Almighty's grace and divine energy that surrounds us. It is the lamp which symbolizes prosperity and knowledge. O lamp, we bow down to you and pray that our lives be illuminated.
It is a big day for all of us as I complete 11 months in office today as the Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court, the second oldest but the largest chartered High Court in India. I stand here with a great sense of pride and privilege to be part of a glorious, joyous and momentous occasion in the 60th year of Goa's liberation, the inauguration of the new High Court building, which marks the beginning of a new chapter in the judicial history of Goa. We are honored by the presence of the paterfamilias of the Indian judiciary, Honorable S.A. Bobde, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of India and the chief guest for the occasion. Goa seems to be very dear to His Lordship, for no fewer than 8 occasions His Lordship was here on visiting assignments from Bombay. History records that the Panaji bench of the Bombay High Court was inaugurated by the then Chief Justice of India, Sri Y.V. Chandrachud, and a former judge of the Bombay High Court in 1982. Today, yet another Chief Justice of India from the same High Court is here to inaugurate and dedicate this building to the people of Goa. On behalf of all my colleagues of the High Court of Bombay and on my personal behalf, I extend a very warm welcome to His Lordship. I also take this opportunity of warmly welcoming our special guests, Honorable Dr. P.P. Sawant, the Chief Minister of Goa, and Honorable R.S. Prasad, Senior Advocate and Minister for Law and Justice, Government of India. Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court of India, Justice N.V. Ramana, the upholder of civil liberties, and Justice B.R. Gavai, the People's Judge, the dignitaries on and off the dais, and all other distinguished guests and invitees to the inaugural function. I am overwhelmed by your gracious presence, which has indeed added a sense of inclusiveness to the ceremonial inauguration. The foundation stone for the new building was laid on 19 December 2013. Construction, however, commenced more than half a decade back. It is spread over a sprawling area of 3.18 hectares. I sincerely acknowledge the continuous cooperation and support received from the Goa government for making the judiciary's dream of having a new court building to suit its growing needs a reality, and ensuring completion of this ultra-modern structure within the final date suggested by me in last December to the Chief Minister. I wonder how many more deadlines would have been missed but for the Chief Minister's intervention. Be that as it may, all's well that ends well. The new building, which is centrally located, will make access to justice easy. Although such building would assure greater comfort for judges, lawyers, litigants, and other stakeholders. But much more than physical ease, the infrastructure and support system would enhance efficiency, speedy adjudication, and early delivery of justice, of course, without compromising the quality of judgments. While discharging our duties as judges, we are legally ordained to decide the fate of others on a set of guiding principles popularly called laws. However, in so judging, it becomes indispensably necessary to evolve one's mental state to a level immeasurably higher than the ordinary. We achieve this by directing our attention to rid anay and render nyay by our close association with dharma. Our dharma is sacrifice, tyag, purity of work, nishkam karma, knowledge, gyan, devotion, nishtha, and integrity, nyay, priyata. On this day, we all solemnly resolve to adhere to these high ideals. I must emphasize by optimism that the new beginning being made today will pave the way for providing just justice to the people who come to the High Court for a fair process and a fair judgment. The efficiency and responsiveness of the judicial system being dependent on the quality of arguments advanced and assistance extended, the learned members of the bar too have a key responsibility towards delivery of justice. I am confident that with this new beginning, the harmony between the bar and the bench to produce the desired results will continue to go from strength to strength. Before concluding, the occasion cannot pass without my expressing, as sincerely as I can, the gratitude I owe to everyone who has enabled this transition. I would also like to thank everyone who have worked tirelessly and given much of their hard labor, effort, and time to make this grand event possible. I pray to God for your good health, happiness, and prosperity without end. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind. May I now request the Honorable the Chief Justice of India to formally inaugurate this new building by kindly cutting the ribbon and unveiling the plaque.
Chief Justice of India, Lordship Bobde, Honorable the Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant, Honorable the Law Minister of India, Honorable the judges of the Supreme Court of India and all the judges of the Bombay High Court, and all the dignitaries who are present for this event. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to witness a historic event. This structure which is being inaugurated today is no more going to be just a building. From henceforth, this is going to be a symbol, an icon of justice for the state of Goa. This place, which was just a hillock till yesterday, from today, it is going to be a tower of justice for this state. Friends, in all the cultures and traditions of the world, great importance is given to certain places, certain buildings, certain premises. There are special places or buildings or premises which are revered, which are worshipped. In different religions, there are traditions of visiting different places, different sites, different monuments, different temples, different mosques, etc. Now, these places have become place of pilgrimage. The reason being, because of some great personalities, because of deeds of some great persons, because of deeds and actions of certain great personalities, we revere these places, and these have become places of worship. These places have become sacred and pious because of certain acts and deeds of certain personalities. Now in India, there is a nice concept called as Sthana Mahatmya. Sthana Mahatmya literally means the significance of a place. A place becomes very significant because of several reasons. In religious terms, you must be aware that certain sages or certain great personalities have had their abode at a particular place, as a result of which the human beings have converted these places into temples, etc. It is all because of the deeds of these great personalities that these places have become temples or place of worship. This is the effect of great work and the sacred and pious deeds done by these great personalities. The building today, which is inaugurated, we should all endeavor to make it a place which may be seriously called and really called as a temple of justice. It is in our hands who are going to work here by our deeds to convert this building into a temple of justice. It is our deeds which are going to make this building a temple. This building must become a symbol of justice and must be worshipped as a temple of justice. Today, if we vouch to work here with sincerity, honesty and integrity, I am sure this building will be truly a temple of justice. I pray to God that this temple of justice would bless us and the people of Goa with beds of his judgments. Before I conclude, I want to convey one message which is given by the learned Advocate General of Maharashtra. He has given us best of wishes and he has expressed his regrets for having not coming for this function because of his personal reasons, and he has made a special request that I should make a mention for this August gathering about it. I thank all of you who have come here for such a great day. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Gomanta.
For the inauguration of the new High Court building in the state of Goa. And for this inauguration, we have the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Shri Bobde ji. We have with us amongst our midst our young and dynamic Chief Minister for the state of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant. We have specially come to be part of this inauguration, even from his busy schedule. Our Central Law and Justice Minister, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad ji. We have with us Justice N.V. Ramana ji. We have with us Justice Gavi ji. We have with us our Honorable Chief Justice of Bombay High Court, Shri Dattaji, Dipankar Dattaji, who has been continuously following up with us. And I think he is one of them who is instrumental to finish this building, he has come many often to see that this building is completed with the help of Honorable Chief Minister, and we had continuous inspections for the same. We also have Justice A. Sayed ji, we have Justice S.S. Shinde ji, we have our Justice Sri Sonak ji, and our own AG, Devdas Pangam ji. Of the dais, we have my colleagues from the Assembly, ministers from the Assembly, Government of Goa. We have the Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, other secretaries of the State of Government of Goa, other distinguished guests. Well, when we see here this immense beautiful structure which has been built here, it has taken quite a time, and we all know what is the reason for taking this time, because we had to go to a different financial difficulties which has happened during the period of the government. And as we can see that there is always something which is coming new in this design. And I would like to say that this project has been awarded the best passive design in India in the year 2016. In this particular design, we have the traditional Goan architectural strategies. We have the cross ventilation, which is known as Rosangon. We have the light and water local materials which have been used for construction of the building. But we have used traditional techniques to give a most modern contemporary architectural building. We feel that this land, almost 31,861 square meters of land for the very purpose of this High Court building, and the building itself into 23,518 square meters of feet of construction will give what is required. As the speakers ahead of me have said, justice is here and justice will prevail, and this is the symbol of our justice, part of the justice. We have made this design to be a friendly design for disabled people. So we have systems placed for everybody to be more comfortable to come here. The entire cost of this project has crossed approximately around 175 crores. And I think the state of Goa, being a small state, Honorable Chief Minister has been kind enough that the building gets the required financial sanction, the financial vitamin M, as we all say, to the contractors who have been off and on, starting and closing the building because of various reasons. But in the last 2 years, Honorable Chief Minister has seen that nothing has been short to construct this new building. We had almost 10-12 different contractors at various stages of construction of the building. We had contractors who were part of the designing. We had contractors who were part of the plumbing and designing of construction. We had a separate contractor for civil designing. We have a separate contractor for the landscape designing and various other things. But ultimately, the aim is to see that the High Court building has been completed in all respects. And I'm sure that the Chief Justice of Bombay High Court will move into this spacious building after the annual holiday, what we always say, in the month of May, and will come in the month of June. In the meantime, It is our responsibility to see that everything is safe and sound, so that as and when they come here, we give them the space to perform their duties as part of the constitutional needs. The building by itself is unique. The building by itself has been designed by our consortium of LKS consultants, keeping into mind the modern architecture. Well, there will be a lot of things which I would like to say in today's inauguration, but sincerely I will thank Honorable Chief Minister, who has personally followed up to see that each and every part of this building, after he became the Honorable Chief Minister, to give the enough budgetary support for this particular project. And he himself has visited this premises on number of occasions to see that we meet the time deadline to inaugurate it today. And I thank him from the bottom of the heart. I thank all of you present here for this wonderful function. I thank Chief Justice Bobde ji to make time, and also Ravi Shankar ji for making his time. And I hope that whatever remaining infrastructure projects, like the new Sessions Court building which is coming up in Mercedes, the new Sessions Court building which is coming up in Margao, the additional judges, in a sense, buildings coming up for various courts in the state of Goa will be completed at the hands of Honorable Chief Minister Dr. Pramod Sawant. Thank you. God bless you all.
The chief guest of today's function, my Lord Justice Sharad Arvind Bobde, the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Pramod Sawant, the Honorable Chief Minister, State of Goa, Honorable Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, the Minister of Law and Justice, Government of India, the senior most judge in the Supreme Court, my Lord Justice Ramna, Honorable Mr. Justice Dipankar Datta, the Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court, Honorable Mr. Nilesh Gabral, the Minister of Law and Judiciary, the other honorable ministers present here, my esteemed colleagues present here on the dais, Justice Amjad Syed, Justice Shinde, Justice Mahesh Sonak, all my esteemed colleagues present in the audience from the principal seat, so also the benches at Nagpur, Aurangabad, Goa, all their better halves, Srimati Juma Datto, Shri Anil Singh, the Additional Solicitor General of India, the members of the Bar Council of India, as well as the members of the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, Shri Mudgaonkar, the President of the Goa Bar Association, and all his colleagues, Shri Kalgaonkar, the Secretary General of the Supreme Court of India, the lawyer friends present here. I see in the audience Dr. Shripad Naik, the Minister of State, and Mr. Ramakant Khalab, the ex-Minister for Law. It's a great pleasure to be with you this morning. It's like a dream coming true when Honorable Justice Datto took over the reins of this prestigious High Court at the peak of pandemic. And after he visited Panji, he had taken it to his heart that he will ensure that the building is completed and inaugurated at the hands of Honorable Justice Sharad Bobde. As has been said by the Chief Justice, Honorable Justice Bobde has a special love and affection for Goa. I think he must he must be the only one having distinction of visiting Goa on a visiting assignment for 8 times. I also had the pleasure to be with him whenever he was visiting Goa, and he has another fascination for forests of Goa and specifically Kotegaon. and also for furniture of Goa. So it was apt that the building had to be inaugurated at the hands of none else than Justice Bobde. As said by the comptroller, there is an added pleasure to me in my short sitting at Goa in 2013. The foundation laying ceremony of the state building was performed when I happened to be the senior most administrative judge at Goa. I see in the audience my colleagues, Justice Rais and Justice Bakre, who were part of the Goa bench at that time. I won't be standing for long between you and the Honorable the Chief Justice. I know that all of you are eagerly waiting to hear him. But I had a very, very pleasing sitting at Goa. And I must state here that the bar at the Goa is one of the best that I have seen. I could learn a lot from the senior lawyers who I had a pleasure of listening to. I had the pleasure of deciding many important matters in that short sitting only because of the assistance given by the members of the bar here. I'm also happy to note the presence of Manan Kumar Mishra, the chairman of the Bar Council of India, along with his colleagues Satish Deshmukh, Apurva Kumar Sharma and Prabhakaran. I'm happy to mention here that the Bar Council of India, in collaboration with the state of Goa, is likely to establish an international level center for legal education. I'm informed that the Chief Minister has been actively supporting the said move. If that happens, Goa will be an international legal hub. I must place on record my deep appreciation for the efforts taken by the Chief Justice, supported by the Chief Minister, in ensuring that the timeline is maintained, and especially the senior judge at Goa, Shri Mahesh Sonak, and Shri Sheshadri Naidu, who, though had come on a visiting assignment at the command of Chief Justice, continued here to assist Justice Sonak in completion of the project. I always considered the bar and bench to be the equal wheels of a golden chariot of institution of judiciary. Unless both of them work together, it is not possible to serve the purpose for which this institution survives. The institution does not survive for lawyers or litigants, but for the common citizen to whom our Constitution has assured justice. I'm sure that this monumental building, which is a milestone in the history of not only Panji but Bombay High Court, will go a long way in achieving the dream of the Constitution framers of giving to its citizen justice, social, economic and political. Thank you very much.
Honorable Justice S.A. Bobde, Chief Justice of India, Dr. Pramod Sawant, Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, Minister of Law and Justice, Brother Justice Gawai, respected Speaker of Goa Assembly, Brother Justice Dipankar Datta, Chief Justice of Mumbai High Court, Nilesh Gabriel, Minister for Law and Judiciary, State of Goa, Brother Justice A.A. Syed, Justice S.S. Shinde, Justice M.S. Sonako, Judges of Mumbai High Court, Devdas Pangam, Advocate General of the State of Goa, judicial officers, registrars and staff members of the Mumbai High Court, judicial officers, family members of the judiciary, advocates, media persons, ladies and gentlemen. Let me congratulate all of you today on this great momentous occasion of getting a new court building. I I vaguely remember in the year 1978, 1980, 2 times I came to this Goa just as a student to visit the place. Now, after so many years back, after so many years I came. Yesterday I saw a sea change of the Goa city, the cities. It's good, lot of growth and development is taking place. At the outset, I must express my joy to be standing here in the land which is often known as a place where one may forget the need for heaven. Goa, with its abundant natural resources and natural harbors, it's played a very important and significant role in the development and shaping of the history of India. Goa has always embraced people of different identities and cultures and has emerged as a melting part of several cultures. It is the Goan way of life which entices people from all across the globe. Goa was a rich legal tradition which dates back in the year 1544, where the Portuguese established the first high court in Asia at Goa. The jurisdiction of this court was not confined merely to the Portuguese territories of Goa, Daman and Diu, but extended to other Portuguese colonies. As a result, the Goan judiciary was fortunate to nurture rich legal tradition. Goa was liberated from Portuguese rule on 19th December 1961. This year, the state as well as the nation celebrates the 60th anniversary of liberation of the Goa. It's a matter of great pride that in this year we are inaugurating this wonderful building, which is to house the High Court of Bombay at Goa. Brothers and sisters, the ideals of access to justice and speedy justice form the bedrock of the rule of law. For access to justice, there needs to be sufficient infrastructure to cater to the ever-rising number of disputes and cases. Although every district has courts, however, I must state that they need to be updated to enable them to meet the above challenge. After independence, the judiciary in general has not progressed at an equal pace in comparison with the other branches of the state. The judiciary is usually considered rigid in its way of working due to the procedural requirement. While science and technology have affected all walks of life, integrating the same into the judicial system has been an uphill task. We have all witnessed courts operating from dilapidated old structures and rented premises without proper record rooms or even staff. There are premises without washrooms, waiting rooms, crush service, or disabled-friendly infrastructure for the litigants and lawyers. Situations like this have an adverse impact on the qualitative dispensation of justice. Therefore, it is important for the judiciary to concentrate our efforts on modernization of the system. However, such endeavors must be undertaken after a careful stakeholders analysis and must portray the needs of changing times. Considering the intricacies involved in the judicial process, I call upon the stakeholders and scholars, experts to provide a sustainable and inclusive model of modernization of judicial infrastructure in this country. Undeniably, strengthening judicial infrastructure is the most important tool to reduce pendency of cases and clear the backlog. However, the understanding of judicial infrastructure has to transcend beyond the issues of pendency, vacancy, or the number of courtrooms. It should involve modernization, upgradation, and creating a barrier-free, citizen-friendly environment. We can assert true accessibility when the person with the maximum disadvantage can still knock on the doors of the court of justice. But the path before is not easy. Today, most of the senior judges of the institution are caught up in administrative decision making in addition to their existing judicial work. They are bound to spend hours to understand the existing issues and finding solutions using existing technology. The pandemic has placed an immense challenges before us. With the help of the government, the Chief Justice of India, Justice Bobde, took immediate steps to meet the existing gaps by introducing virtual hearing through video conferencing. This exercise addressed issues of geographical spatial limitations and brought justice to people's doorstep. Providing independent video conferencing facility to all courts, e-filing counters, digitization of records, etc. are steps in that direction. However, the endeavor was met with multiple challenges such as accessibility and tailor-made platforms to meet the specialized needs of the judiciary. Talking of impediments in the path of modernization, financial constraints must never come in the path of progress. There is need for the center and state to cooperate and create a national judicial infrastructure corporation as a one-time measure to cater to the needs of the judicial infrastructure in the country. Such a corporation would bring the uniformity and standardization required to revolutionize judicial infrastructure. At the end of the day, we must remember that all our efforts are ultimately indeed for the sake of justice seekers, who are the beneficiaries. Although the persons who will occupy this building would be the members of the bar and bench and their support staff, we must not forget that the focal point of any justice delivery system in the litigant is the litigant and justice seeker. The land members of the bar have an integral role to play in the justice delivery system. Never forget your duty towards your society. Remember, the population of our country is predominantly rural with low levels of income. They cannot afford the legal fees to fight for their cause. The legal community is known for its service to the people and the nation. Lawyers are at forefront of the freedom struggle, and there is no need to name all those who bled for the freedom of our country. With this inspiration in your heart, please attempt to do so much pro bono public you can. If senior lawyers do at least 2 pro bono cases a month, it would change the legal aid landscape of the country and will definitely increase the quality of service. This will also motivate junior lawyers to follow in our footsteps. Here, I would take a moment to thank the entire network of legal service authorities, volunteers and lawyers for their determination for the cause of justice even during these difficult days. I urge everyone here to propel the legal aid movement further until easy and affordable access to justice is a reality. May the legacies of judicial stalwarts like Justice Pense, Kanya and Lentin lead us to a bright future. The power and strength of any justice delivery system is derived from the faith of the people in it. The bar and bench need to work in conjunction to affirm the faith that a citizen has in the judicial delivery system. We are mere custodians. I am sure that you will be able to make use of this grand edifice to shape the future of this great state. I also thank this opportunity and congratulate the Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant, for his great efforts. I am happy to have among us Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad, a lawyer, a senior lawyer, a great politician and statesman. For the first time, we have a minister holding the portfolio of law and justice and information and technology. I appreciate his outlook towards strengthening the judicial infrastructure through integration of technology so as to increase the access to justice to all. I also thank the Honorable Chief Justice of India, who worked tirelessly to modernize judicial infrastructure by using technology. Some of the projects he conceived are in the pipeline and will be implemented soon. Lastly, I congratulate the Chief Justice of Bombay High Court and his team for all their efforts in strengthening the Bombay High Court at Goa. I wish him and all the associate judges of the High Court great success and hope they reach greater heights. My experience as a judge in various states shown that each region has its own peculiarities and requirements, and the infrastructure should accordingly reflect such uniqueness. In that light, I hope that new court premises sprawling around 1 lakh square feet with an estimated cost of 175 crores, having all modern facilities and amenities becomes the new room new norm for construction of future court buildings. I truly believe this court complex will cater to bring about an era of access to justice. Before I conclude, let me pay my sincere tributes to the freedom fighters who sacrificed so much, including their lives, so that Goa may be liberated and its people may have the honor and good fortune to see this state grow. Before concluding, I want to remind all of you the words of Martin Luther King Jr., where I quote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly," unquote. Thanking you all for giving me this opportunity.
Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Justice S.A. Bobde, my good friend, distinguished Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant, Justice V. Ramana, Honorable Judge Supreme Court of India, Justice B.R. Gawai, Honorable Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Chief Justice of Bombay High Court, Mr. Dipankar Datta, Honorable Rajesh Patnaikar, Honorable Speaker of Goa Vidhan Sabha, my good friend Shripad Nayak, Union Minister present here, nice to see you back, my greetings to you. Justice A.S. Iyer, Justice S.S. Shinde, Justice M.S. Sonak, other judges of Bombay High Court, Mr. Nilesh Cabral, Distinguished Law Minister of Goa, Advocate General of Goa, Shri Devidas Pangam, Additional Solicitor General of Mumbai High Court, Anil Singh, retired judges, my distinguished friend from the legal fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. After such a scintillating music, it is always a pleasure to recall the liberation of Goa in 1961. And today, we have the new building of Goa High Court, which was earlier inaugurated in 1982. Honorable Chief Justice, since you come from Maharashtra, and hence Goa is attached to you integrally, one question has baffled me always. India became free in 1947. Why Goa had to wait till 1961? When India's independence is now close to 75 years, and we are celebrating the 75th year of India's independence, it is time to have an honest appraisal. एक समीक्षा होनी चाहिए कि why Goa's liberation took so long. We have the best relations of Portugal. We wish them well. Many of the Portuguese prime ministers are having from Goa. It is a matter of great pride. That relationship will be there. It should continue. But there has to be an honest appraisal. I thought today I must flag that concern and give my salute to all the freedom fighters of the Goa movement. They are not heard in the entire country. And Pramodji, I would recommend to you that the great freedom fighters of Goa needs to be conveyed to the people of India of their contribution, their valor. Here we surely can work together. I have liked to flag to you. Goa High Court was established, a small high court of not a very big state, but very soon made a mark by its various judgments, particularly in the field of environment, conservation, and sustainable development. I had myself, in my professional capacity, had the occasion to appear in Supreme Court in some of these cases. But the concerns which those judgments have flagged would always remain relevant. But ladies and gentlemen, this whole competing claim between sustainable development and job opportunity and business return is a little complicated. And the final solution of this problem is just to come about. And as I always say, We need to conserve environment, we need to ensure development, and we need to maintain a happy balance, healthy balance. And as I had occasion to say on some other occasions, when India became free, all the challenges which arose anywhere in the world arose in India as well, of race, of religion, of caste, of community, of language, of region, of affirmative action, reservation. At times it became explosive too. But there was the judiciary always coming with a very constructive answer which the country accepted. And I'm quite sure this competing claim between environment and development would surely find a very robust answer from the Supreme Court finally, which will lead to a healthy blend between these two competing claims. Honorable the Chief Justice was just reminding me that we were together at the inauguration of Patna High Court Centenary Building, my parent High Court. And now we are here at Goa. Pramod ji, congratulations to you for rendering all the cooperation. As a law minister, I always say that in rendering judicial infrastructure support, the government of India, the state government, and the judiciary led by the Chief Justice of India have to play a very, very role of great fraternity, of great mutuality, of great cooperation. And if many of the buildings which have been constructed from district court to high court, it has been possible because of the cooperation which we have ensured. And obviously central government giving its funds and the state government also rising to the occasion. As Ramana just pointed out the pandemic and the application of digital technology, he was referring to my role as the IT and Communication Minister of India. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I say in lighter vein, during COVID, there was no rail, there was no plane, and there was no highway movement. But the country was kept going only by all my departments, namely the mobile, the phone, the internet, the IT operations. I remember India's IT companies were in a shell-shocked. Hum kaise kaam karenge? We can't go to our offices. I liberalized the entire regime of work from home. And today, 85% of India's IT operations went out. In the anti-COVID operations, the mobile SMSs, the targeted reporting at the center of isolation, all these work together. But I would like to highlight here the stellar manner in which our judiciary performed. If students were appearing in their examination or in classes digitally, if politicians were talking to their worker digitally, if seminars were happening digitally or virtually, that is one aspect of it. But judiciary has to keep in balance three factors: the expectations of the litigants, the role of the lawyers, and hearing the cases and justice delivery. And here I wish to compliment the Chief Justice of India, Justice Bobde, all the judges of Supreme Court of India, who really rose to the occasion and ensure that this great wheel of justice does not stop. And I would like to just mention, during COVID, 82 lakh cases were heard through video conferencing. 82 lakh cases. The Supreme Court heard 59,309 cases. The High Courts heard 27,58,560 cases. And the subordinate courts heard 54,46,876 cases. And the Chief Justice Datta, Bombay High Court including Goa bench, heard 64,813 cases virtually through video conferencing, or for district court, this figure stood at 71,668. Therefore, this unique innovation of India's judiciary to allow virtual court not to interrupt the wheel of justice will be indeed very remarkable. As I have said, friends, technology is very important. This is the age of technology. Technology is power. We launched the Digital India program. What was that? To allow common Indians to be empowered by technology. And Digital India leads to digital inclusion, digital empowerment. And all its pillars were subjected to great tests during COVID. And I'm very happy that apart from other, judiciary also came out with very shining color. Friends, one last aspect I have to flag and then I'll conclude. I hope this is the occasion for me to repeat that. I'm a great supporter of social media. Social media is empowering. Social media enables the people of India to ask questions, criticize the Prime Minister, us and all. That's a part of healthy democracy. Therefore, we all encourage that. But of late, I'm noticing a rather disturbing trend. Some people are having this trend. When they file a PIL on a particular issue which they have got the right to file, there are many PILs are filed. I am also a supporter of PIL, but at times there had to be some restraint which the judges themselves have cautioned in their judgments. They file the PIL, then they start a campaign on social media that only this type of judgment is possible in this case. And if a judgment does not come in accord with what they perceive to be their right, then they start not only criticizing the judges, but also trolling the judges. You can always criticize the judgment, that's your right. But if you start campaigning against a particular judge on social media, this is plainly not fair. If judiciary has to work and discharge its duties, it must be left completely free. All the judges to decide cases as per the rule of law, constitution and their conscience. This campaign justice is plainly not acceptable. I thought on this great occasion of the building, beautiful building on a hillock of the Goa bench of the Mumbai High Court, I must flag this concern. Today is a happy day. Chief Justice Datta, I must tell you, in my professional days when I was practicing in the Supreme Court, every month I used to take one outing in different high courts of India. But if I used to get an exposure for the Goa bench High Court, I used to rush for it because not only professional appearance, but even the Goa surrounding used to impress me. I'm quite sure this great legacy of Goa High Court will go, and in a very short tenure, the image which Goa bench has made will continue to prosper. My greetings, Namaskar, Jai Hind.
Today, for the inauguration of the new building premises of the High Court of Mumbai at Goa, the present along with me, the Honorable Justice Sri Sharad Arvind Bobde, Chief Justice of India, Union Minister of the Law and Justice, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, the Honorable Justice N.V. Ramanna, Judge, Supreme Court of India, Honorable Justice B.R. Gavai, Judge, Supreme Court of India, the Honorable Justice Dipankar Datta, Chief Justice of High Court of Mumbai, Mr. Nilesh Kabral, Minister of Law and Judiciary, Government of Goa, Mr. Devidas Pangam, Advocate General for the State of Goa. Also, all the judiciaries present among the audience, and Mr. Sripad Naik, Ayush Minister of the Government of India, Mr. Rajesh Patnekar, the Speaker of Goa Legislative Assembly, Mr. Babu Kavlikar, the Deputy CM of the Government of Goa, Mr. Vinay Tendulkar, the MP for the Rajya Sabha, Minister Jennifer Monserrat of Government of Goa, all the other MLAs, the ex-Law Minister of the India, Mr. Ramakant Khalap. I'll remember the one more person, the late Sri Manohar Parrikar, who have laid the foundation stone for this function, for this High Court. As rightly our Law Minister, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, had said, there is a 14 years delay for the independence of the Goa. Samiksha honi chahiye. It is true. In this 60th year of the liberation of Goa, we have entered into the new era on this date. This date will remember as an event and which will change the course of judiciary in the state of Goa. Let me congratulate one and all on this special day. When I took over as the Chief Minister of Goa in March 2019, the inauguration of the new building of the High Court was an important project for me. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, there was a delay, but this delay is destined to ensure that inauguration of this building is coincides with the 60th anniversary of the liberation of Goa. On this day, I remember the people who fought for the liberation of Goa. I remember those who laid their lives for our state for the liberation moment. I also remember the people who shaped the fortune of the Goa after the liberation. Our land has heritage and great rulers such as Kadambas, Vijayanagar Empire, Marathas, etc. This land has a fortune to give the great personalities in the field of art, literature, architect, culture, etc. This land is famous for the scenic beauty. This land is also famous for the temple and churches. Today we are dedicating the Temple of Justice to the people of Goa. I am privileged to contribute a small part in this historic event. I am also fortunate to be the witness for this event. After the liberation of the Goa, the Court of Justice Commissioners became the highest court and for the Union Territory of the Goa, Daman and Diu. In the year 1982, the bench of Bombay High Court was established in Goa. Thereafter, in the year 1987, Goa attained the statehood and the Bombay High Court was declared as a common High Court for the Goa and Maharashtra. The Bombay High Court was to serve the people of Goa with all its legacy and grandeur. The people of Goa has been widely benefited by the Bombay High Court. I express my gratitude for the same. This new building has provided with the state-of-art facilities and infrastructure, the best of the information technology and the other accessories. The building has been made the public friendly, more particularly for the differently able person. The more space provided for the lawyer, litigations and for the courtroom. I am glad to share with you that this building has been awarded by the Griha certificate for the green building because of its sustainable and energy efficient architecture. The psychology and environment has been the paramount consideration for the government as always. The Bombay High Court at Goa has been champion of the enforcement for the constitution of the law in the state of Goa. It has been the responsible for developing the good legal system in the state. The legal professions has been largely benefited by the Bombay High Court in Goa. The Bombay High Court has been instrumental in transforming the Portuguese legal system into the Indian legal system and has guided us into the developing one of the best legal system. The government of Goa has committed to give the best of the infrastructure facilities to the judiciaries. Our next project is in the Medshe Court of Complex for the North Goa District Judiciary. The work of the said project will be completed by the government of Goa as early as possible. Similarly, the work of the new building of the civil court in the Margao is underway and the same also be completed as per the schedule. My government wants every person in the society to get the justice, and we almost work for the giving the speedy and proper justice to all and one. Rightly, we welcome the International Law School of Academy for the Arbitration and Law and also the International Arbitration Center in the state of Goa. I am glad that the Honorable Chief Justice of India and Honorable Law Minister of India are here today. I am also delighted that the other judges from the Honorable Supreme Court, Honorable Chief Justice of Bombay and High Court head judges and Honorable High Court are present and bless the occasion. On this great occasion, I pray the God that the judicial institution gives the common man and the downtrodden in the state of the Goa justice, social as well as the legal. I'm thankful for everybody, one who's responsible in the instrumental in completing this project and making one of the best project in the state of Goa. At the last, I will say, the karmanne vadikarestu ma phaleshu kadachanam. I will continue my work on the same line. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Gomantak.
The Shri Pramod Sawant, Chief Minister Goa, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad, Union Minister for Law, Justice and many other things, my esteemed colleagues, Justice Ramana, Justice Gavai, Shri Justice Deepankar Gupta, the Honorable Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court, Nilesh Kabral, the Minister for Law and Justice, State of Goa, Justice Syed, Justice Shinde, Justice Sonak, Senior Judge at Goa, Honorable Judges of the Bombay High Court and their spouses, Honorable Judges of the High Court at Goa, the Speaker of the Assembly, the Chairman Bar Council of India, members of the State Bar Council, Honorable former judges, respected members of the Bar, officials of the State of Goa, who particularly have had a role in this building, members of the print and visual media, all the dignitaries present on this momentous occasion. I find this is rather rare because the audience is mainly dignitaries because of COVID. I believe they had to cut down the number of invitations. Also, Shri Naik, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad has been mentioning about you from the dais. I am extremely delighted to be here amongst you for inaugurating what could be described as the future building for the High Court of Goa in Panjim, in the presence of the future of the judiciary of the Bombay High Court, the future of the judiciary of the Supreme Court, and all of you here. This occasion provides us a great opportunity to recognize the rich legacy of administration of justice in Goa that spans more than 4.5 centuries. I am including the period before the liberation. Contrary to many other areas, even though it was not part of the Indian Union, there was a very well-established system of administration of justice. I realized that when I was sitting as a judge here, going back a little in history, it's very important to realize not only the occasion, but the people who are present on the occasion. Goa was administered by the Mauryan king as the head of the court from its capital city, Pataliputra, the present-day Patna. I inaugurated the new High Court building, Patna, last month with Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad, and now I am here to inaugurate the new High Court building at Goa. I am sure there was a similar court connection those days. Perhaps I am the only judge, or rather one of the few judges from the Bombay High Court who sat so often at Goa. I've heard remarks that Justice Bobde is a Goa judge. I'm happy that when I'm described like this, because that's when I came to love and admire Goa, its culture, its natural habitat, its cuisine, its music, even football. For me, the High Court in Goa meant the Lyceum building, which we are going to leave behind. Now on, it will mean something else, and I will have no experience of having been a judge here. It is my personal irrational belief that the walls of the court buildings record arguments and judgments which take place within the building. But it will be some time before the recording will start in this building. And I do hope, if the tradition continues, the building is going to hear some of the best arguments and receive some of the best judgments in the state. The Goa bench of the Bombay High Court may be just 3 decades old, but the court during this period not only maintained the highest traditions of judicial propriety and rectitude, but has made significant contribution to the development of law. Goa has what the constitutional framers envisaged for India, a uniform civil code, and I have had the great privilege of administering justice under that code. It applies in marriage and succession, governing all Goans, irrespective of religious affiliation. I've heard a lot of academic talk about the Uniform Civil Code. I would request all those intellectuals to simply come here and watch the administration of justice to know what it turns out to be. There have been distinguished judges on this court. I don't know all the names, but Dr. Gustav Philip Couto, G.D. Kamath, Dr. De Silva, R.K. Bhatta, Khandeparkar, Ribello, Justice Ribello, lawyers of great eminence. I don't want to talk about the present lawyers who are equally great. I've had the pleasure of hearing V.B. Nadkarni, S.K. Kakodkar, who made it a point to speak his mind whenever the court disagreed with him. A new building is a sign of new times. After the liberation of Goa, both institutionally and substantively, the judicial and legal system had to be transformed so that it could become compatible with the Indian Constitution. A new cadre of judges and a new case law-based system of precedent and legal reasoning replaced Portuguese with English as the language of the courts had to be established. I must tell you that judges in Goa have a unique experience. If you look at the precedents, they are under the civil law system, the inquisitorial system. And when you administer justice now, it is under the adversarial system. There are many fascinating arguments which are advanced, and when the administrative code of Goa gives rise to a question of law, I found it very important to remember that the administrative code has its foundation in the civil law system and not in the adversarial system, which is vastly different in perspective. I will not go into all that, but even things like investigation was done by the magistrates. The trial was also conducted by the magistrates. The judge was virtually held fort in terrorem. This is something which is unique to Goa, and I have always told my colleagues on the bench that in India, if there is any bench which gives you the variety of experiences and challenges as the Supreme Court, it is only the Constitution bench at Goa. The reason is that every kind of case, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, who has been an eminent member of the bar, would find this interesting. When you sit on the Constitution bench at Goa, you can expect to hear a land acquisition case, a 302 murder appeal, a public interest litigation, a question under administrative law, income tax, sales tax, excise law. There is no branch of law on which the learned members of the bar address us, and if I may say, address us very ably. The other good thing is judges who get tired, senior judges, can also go in the afternoon and follow the tradition of Susegad and relax. The transition of the court in Goa was gradual and incremental, and ultimately in 1982, a bench of the Bombay High Court was established at Panjim. Today, it is a proud honor to see the Goa bench extend itself to this building. Just as the design and structure of a hospital has profound consequences for everything from the doctor-patient relationship to the way a society understands pain, death, and public health, the space in which justice is administered profoundly affects how it is administered. What it means for a society to see justice done, and how order and liberty are mediated. So said a professor at the Stanford School. This new High Court building, situated on the banks of the river Mandavi and built in the area of 31,861 square meters, is equipped with state-of-the-art facilities like court halls fitted with video conferencing facilities, mics, recording facilities, video conferencing room, solar panels, electricity power station integrated with solar energy, rainwater harvesting, green roof, and lightning protection system. This reminds me of the time when I had something to do with a bit of this planning. They had a chief engineer called Rego and a chief architect called Sadda Pamnani, with whom I worked for long hours on the planning of this building, some of it, and I'm very proud to see all this having come to fruition. It is a testament of judicial infrastructure infused with modern technology. I congratulate the judicial administration of Goa and the government of Goa, headed by the present Chief Minister and the former Chief Ministers, who all contributed for the growth of this building, for the construction of this building, which you can see today. The administration of justice, which Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad said, is often tried to be made difficult by some vested interests. But that is something we as judges have got used to. In fact, the compeer who quoted Rudyard Kipling stopped short at one very important line. it says, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much. And the next line, which is there on the Wimbledon Centre Court, I think is very important. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. And the end is what she said, which is more, you will be a man, my son. Interestingly, I would have liked to speak more about it, but this may not be the occasion. The most significant kingdom, I'll come to that later, but I get a thought about the liberation about Goa. It may be later than the rest of the country, but the most significant thing I think about the liberation of Goa is that it was completely bloodless. No shots were fired, no corpses carried away. When the liberation took place, a few incidents did take place, but basically it was not a conflict between the two armies, which is very different from the liberation in other places like Hyderabad. The most significant kingdom to conquer the rule and rule Goa were the Kadambas. The Kadambas ruled Goa from the 10th century to around 14th century and administered justice on the basis of ancient Hindu texts like Smritis. The judicial system was headed by a chief justice who was also known as the Dharmadhyaksha. Therefore, what emerges from over the centuries is that even in medieval times, society could not exist without law, and Goa certainly did not. In Thomas Fuller's words, that rule, the rule which he said was beautifully enforced. Be you never so high, the law is above you. This is the modern day concept of the rule of law. And in this context, I remind myself of the motto of the Supreme Court, which is in our courtrooms, and that is Yato Dharmas Tato Jayaha. Where there is dharma, meaning law and righteousness, there is victory. And clearly, the Goa administration of justice has succeeded. The link between access to justice and judicial infrastructure has conventionally been viewed today through the lens of pendency and vacancy. Thus, discussions on infrastructure have been largely quantitative, that is, on building more courtrooms. Though building more courtrooms is necessary and important, there was very little emphasis on modernizing existing courtroom. In this regard, though the pandemic has posed a lot of problems of access to justice, it has paved the way for modernizing the courtroom. And I see Justice Nitin Jamdar here, who is on the committee also of the Supreme Court for computerization. And I see a trend of having smaller courtrooms in the future because of Justice Ravi Shankar Prasad's ministry. The e-filing and the data which can be contained is going to take away the need for many storage rooms and many rooms which are necessary for storing paper. The Supreme Court has done its bit on issues of court infrastructure. It has devised benchmarks and frameworks for minimum standards. The baseline report for the first time dissected a court complex into various elements like judge's chamber, litigants, a waiting area, etc., and so many other things you will experience in this building. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the Chief Minister for giving an unusual and a much needed fillip to legal education by granting, I think, 150,000 square meters of land for the Bar Council of India Trust. And I find that Mr. Manan Mishra and other members are here only to receive that land. Congratulations. There are very few governments have done it. You deserve all the praise for it. Lastly, I would like to congratulate the Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court and the judges of this High Court for this brand new magnificent High Court building in Goa with all the state of art facilities. I would like to bring up something else and mention this to the Law Minister and others and Justice Ramana. To use the Law Minister's phrase, I would like to flag this. And what I want to flag is that Bombay also needs a new building. The Law Minister and Justice Ramana would remember this specially in mind, that the Bombay building was constructed for 7 judges. It is now housing more than 40. It is impossible, and there is a proposal pending with the government, Mr. Law Minister. I would request you, and I would request you, Brother Ramana, to pursue it with full might. This is necessary. I would like to congratulate the state government, and I look forward I would like to congratulate the central government in anticipation for the Bombay building. Thank you very much. Jai Gomantak, Jai Hind.
On the days of the days, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot imagine what an overwhelming and at the same time humbling experience this is. To be able to express gratitude to you all for gracing and blessing this significant milestone in the history of Goa, and this is an indeed honor and privilege. The list of all those who made this momentous occasion possible is too large, and our sentiments of gratitude are too profound to find a coherent expression here and now. Though our words may be wanting, the sentiments that filled our hearts and mind are quite unbounded. All world over, there have been iconic buildings to house temples of justice. But only rarely, if at all, does the structure or the architecture of such buildings determine their iconic status. It is invariably the great judges, the great lawyers, the great decisions that they together make, and the difference that such decisions make to the lives and fortunes of the peoples, which is what truly determines their iconic status. So be it with this building which we inaugurate today. No doubt this is quite a daunting task, but surely this is a task worth striving for. The Trinity, comprising our Chief Minister Dr. Pramod Sawant, the Law Minister Engineer Nilesh Kabral, and Advocate General Devidas Pangam, have left no stone unturned to make this building and its inauguration possible. The Union Law Minister Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji and Union Minister Shripad Naik ji have also honored us with their gracious presence here today. In this, they have all demonstrated their commitment to the principle, close to the hearts of democracies, that whenever a citizen gets justice in the court of law, it is the state which is the real winner. We therefore thank the state and union administration for all their efforts in supporting us during these trying times. Our sincere gratitude to the state and its various agencies like the GSITC, PWD, police, protocol, information, the members of the press, consultants, contractors, and above all, the workers on and off the site who have toiled day and night to translate the paper plans into this monument which we so proudly inaugurate today. The members of the bar, led by their respective and respected presidents, Jayant Mulgaonkar, Nelson Suarish and Clovis Costa, the district judiciary led by judges Deshpande and Aga, the Goa registry led by Mr. Shetty and Mr. Bagi, and numerous others have contributed immensely to make this event possible, and we also thank them immensely. Throughout this journey, the Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court, Justice Dipankar Dattoji, has not only led us from the front, but has unfailingly backed us up in times of crisis. Thank you very much, Chief. The physical presence of Honorable Chief Justice of India, Bobde Ji, Honorable Justice Ramana Ji and Gavai Ji has been a virtual treat to the eyes, ears and the mind. They have today guided us, encouraged us and inspired us. Thank you very much, Your Lordships. The Chief Justice of India, Shri Bobde Ji, holds a very special place in the heart of Goa. This is a place where love, affection, respect and admiration abounds. This special occasion has been made even more special by his distinguished presence. Thank you very much, Your Lordship. We acknowledge having missed thanking several individuals and agencies who deserve our gratitude for their contribution to this hallowed project. We seek their forgiveness for this and also their understanding that a project of this magnitude invariably produces its unsung heroes and also sheroes. One shero I cannot help mentioning is Sister Bharti Dangre, who has really given her best to make this function a success. We express our sincere gratitude to all of them. Justice Sayyad, Justice Shinde, my sisters and brothers on the bench, the cabinet ministers, the ministers of the members of the Legislative Assembly, Honorable Speaker Sir, the retired judges of this court, the secretaries to the government, the freedom fighters, and all of you who have gathered here today, we thank you for being such a significant part of our journey this far. We know that we can always count on your support even hereafter. Thank you very much and Jai Hind.